Hey, so today we're talking about the big elephant in the room when it comes to artificial intelligence, and that is that there is a promise out there that AI is going to give you your time, your efficiency, and do all of these magical things. And that is going to translate in business to a return on investment. And I'm going to call it the ROI myth. This is not happening the way that people expect to happen. And Josh and I are going to go through that today and kind of show you the myth and dispel the myth and kind of give you some ideas as to why. My name is Trevor Bruintjes. I am the CEO of AI Edge. We are a training company up here in Canada. We work North America wide, and we teach people how to become dabblers in AI to directors in AI. If you're looking to be a top 5% AI director, check us out. And my partner in crime today is Josh Kuski. He is the CEO of Prairie AI. He is a contributor to the AI Edge. He's also a forward deployed specialist for engineering. I guess we're not allowed to use that word anymore, but regardless. Josh, introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. I am Josh Kuski. I am local to Saskatchewan from Regina. I live in Regina, and I am an AI specialist. I'm calling it forward deployed specialist. It's a new fancy word in the world of AI, but I am just a expert nerd, I guess. I'm really good with the AI tools, as is Trevor. And we're just taking on the world and teaching people things and building all kinds of stuff and using agents. And that's what that's kind of our background.
Absolutely. So let's kind of just start at the beginning. Late November 2022, ChatGPT came out as the first generative AI large language model to kind of be democratized and open to everybody to use, with all of these promises and with all of this fanfare and with all of this stuff. And most people 3.5 years later, I guess is about where we are today, 3.5 years later, are just not seeing that, those promises come true.
That's true. I mean, a lot of people, when they're using ChatGPT or any other AI service, they're kind of just using the basics. They're prompting it. They're asking questions. They're not giving it really that much context. They don't really know how to prompt properly, is my experience with people who are using AI that don't know a ton about it. They're not using projects, and it just leads to them going back and forth all day with their AI, and maybe they get a little bit out of it, but they're not really using it properly.
No, they're definitely not leveraging the custom AI side of any of the large language models, as all the large language models now have, projects and agents or GPTs or whatever they're going to call it. They all call it something different, but every large language model seems to have their version of that. And there was one statistic out there that I love to do, is that 95% that started using ChatGPT never learned to customize it, never learned to do custom AI, and that are still really dabbling in it. They're treating it like they did with a Google prompt. Google, when you type something into Google goes out into the web and grabs it and brings it back to you. I think people just don't understand that generative AI does not do that. It's called generative AI. It's because it's making shit up all the time. It's a really highly predictive analytics. And there's really no facts in a large language model, just highly predictive analytics. And this brings everybody to this place of, okay, AI is going to do all of these magical things. We've got people that think it's going to just magic wand fix their business and create some sort of efficiency in their business. And then we have others that have dabbled in it and said AI sucks, and they haven't looked at it again. We have all of these people, but really, the big myth is people are just not seeing the return on investment, and that's what we should really dive into right now. Is why are people not seeing the return on that investment? Let's be really specific here too. We have two types of businesses in the last 3.5 years. All of the new businesses that develop their business model around using AI. So AI is part of the embedded culture of that. And then for Canada, there's like 1.2 million small businesses under 25 employees, and that are brick and mortar businesses that were pre-AI, and they're the ones that we're actually talking about today. Those are the ones that are not seeing the return on investment. And we're going to get into the whys of that. Yeah. What do you figure is the biggest cause of no return on investment?
Well, I think a lot of people dive into it and play around with it, but they don't spend the time to properly learn the features and the tools available. So we have projects in ChatGPT. That might be a tab that you've never tried or never looked at, right? If you're a business using AI, saying, I use AI, if you've never made a project, you're missing out on 90, you're missing out on the vast majority of usefulness, because in the project, you can add all the information for your business or whatever goal you're trying to accomplish. And then the AI has an understanding of what's going on, right? And it's all siloed into that spot. So that's just one tool, right? And then you can hook up your Google and your email and all these things and really get working with it. And I just don't think people have done the work to actually figure out how to do these properly. And it takes dedicated time, like it takes effort, hours of work that nobody can do for you.
What's the most common excuse that we get from business owners about learning AI? Josh?
I don't got time. I'm too busy doing the work. I don't have time to actually learn the AI stuff. Right? This is what we hear.
Yeah, and so we've touched on two different things there. The I don't have time, and Josh and I finished a seminar or something yesterday, and the gentleman there was like 4 to 1. What used to take me 4 hours now takes me 1 hour. So if you want that kind of return, you've got to spend some time to learn it. There's also and that's going to take some effort, and we've talked about that. The other thing that is, we're running AI on default mode. When I say that 95% of people didn't learn how to customize it, and what Josh was talking about adding knowledge is context, not learning to use the tool properly. They're running on default mode, and I always I liken it to like this whole idea of people driving around. Everybody got a plain white vehicle, and it's a default ChatGPT car or truck or whatever. And nobody read the manual, and they're out there driving around in the car, and it's not quite what they expected, because there was all these promises around all of these great things that it could do. But they're just sitting there driving around in the white car, and it's not doing any of the things that they thought they could do it. But if you read the manual, there's a button on the dash that changes the color, or adds the logo to the side, or puts tools in the trunk, or all of these things, and it gets you out of default mode. And that's where that return on investment needs to happen, is in getting out of default mode and getting into custom AI mode. And like I said, it doesn't matter what large language model. If you learn the skill of customizing AI, you will really start to see the return on investment. And Josh was facilitating with me here at the AI Edge, and we had an older gentleman. His name was Phil. He created one custom AI that he equated to a $41,600 savings in 1 year. Like that, he built one, and then he says, I've built 3 others. He says, but this main one that he built, and it just had to do with timesheets and reporting and all this other stuff. He equated that to, in hours, in his wage, to $41,600 in time savings. That is actual ROI, because he learned how to do customization, and he learned how to use the tool properly.
Yeah, that's amazing. Isn't that amazing? And I was working with his team actually, and he said one of the things I showed them ChatGPT on the desktop and how to use it for coding, because they're software developers. And what did he find? He found that it took him 5 minutes to do something that would have taken 2 days of work. The agent did it in 5 minutes, and it did it right. And this is like kind of the basics of it. This is not getting too complicated when it comes to AI. So the gains are there. They're unbelievably good as well. But you got to put in a bit of work.
So say that again. Something that used to take their team 2 days now takes what?
5 minutes. It took them 5 minutes to do the same job.
And we don't have time to learn the tool. That, like,
yeah.
This is again the ROI, the promise of ROI, and everybody's out there. And social media is terrible. I mean, they're out there in Instagram, Facebook, on YouTube. I see it all the time because, of course, my feed is full of AI. There's guys out there hustling the tool. ChatGPT is the best this week, and then it's Claude's the best the next week, and then it's Grok's the best thing the next week, and then they are out there pushing the tools, but very few are out there pushing AI skill training. And I mean, that's what AI Edge focuses on. Not that we want this to be a huge plug on AI Edge, but I mean, learning the skill of AI, the mindset shift of AI, and then learning how to use the tool right is the absolute key. And again, everything out there is not speaking to that. It's actually plugging the tool. And I guess, this is going to be part of our next podcast. Maybe we could just touch on it. We're getting, short on time here. But the key in the next podcast, the next version of this, we're going to talk about the training myth. And that will be the next version, the next thing that we're going to talk about. And getting good training is the key to learning good skills. And so in our next podcast, that's what we're going to talk about. And so let's just do a quick recap. You're not going to see any ROI. You're not going to see any return on investment using AI, ChatGPT, or any of the other large language models unless you learn to customize it. That it.
There's a little bit of time that has to be put in to figure out the basics. And once you do that, you're going to see a lot more out of your AI tools. No brainer. It's guaranteed, essentially, if you're actually figuring it out properly. But yeah, with the vanilla, we could call it vanilla ChatGPT or something. It's
default, the white pickup. Default,
yeah.
Vanilla, plain Jane, the non-customized version of ChatGPT is really going to disappoint you if you're looking for actual return on investment in a large language model.
100%. Totally agree. Yeah. Any other big points to touch on?
I think this is it. And so if you're looking for more information, like and follow us. Josh and I are going to put this on a few different places on social media. So like and follow. Be certain to subscribe. If you like this type of content, we're just getting started. Josh and I have lots of great ideas for this podcast and vlog. I guess it's going to be, if it's going to be on YouTube and all that other stuff. But we're going to make this a regular occurrence and make it part of our business and just to talk about it, because I think Josh and I are kind of fed up that there's all of these stories being told about ROI, about AI and all the great things that it can do, and we're going to start to dispel some of those myths, especially around small business, because brick and mortar small business are going to have a harder time adopting AI as part of their culture, and we're going to talk about that a lot, and we're going to hopefully help you out. And so, if this content is helpful, like, follow, and subscribe to Josh's channel, my channel, and we'll keep bringing you as much fun content as we possibly can. Thanks, Josh. And this is the AI Nerds. We're out.
Deuce.